Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Hanan if you are new here, and I'm your outdoor bestie. Today I'm going to be talking about something that has really helped my progression on the mountain, and that is making friends on the mountain. When I first started skiing, I only knew maybe a handful of people who actually skied or snowboarded, and even less that actively went to the mountain and actually did it. And so I, at the time, was trying to get so much better and improve and really progress. And so I was oftentimes going on my own. I didn't really have any ski friends. And despite being super comfortable in my own company and learning things on my own, I did want ski friends to push me and encourage me to take on harder terrain. Some people might call it peer pressure. I call it positive encouragement. But yeah, that I really wanted that, and I felt that, I could do that jump, or I could take on those moguls, or whatever it may be, if I just had a few friends doing it with me, just kind of like a moral support. And so, yeah, there were a few ways that I found it really easy to make friends on the mountain, and I'm going to share them with you today. The first and best way I found to make friends on the mountain is the chairlift. And believe it or not, the chairlift is not just for looking at the ground and seeing if you can make that jump, or looking at the mountains and contemplating life, or getting you up to where you need to go. It's actually more than that. It's potentially an opportunity to make a ski friend on the mountain. And yeah, so what does that look like really? The ski lift often accommodates 2 or more people, and the length of the ride is usually 3 minutes or more. Some can go up to 10, 12 minutes. It just depends on how far or how high you need to go. That is literally the perfect opportunity to chat with somebody and get to know them in a very casual manner. So you're probably like, oh my gosh, Hanan, like, how do I do that? That's so nerve-wracking. Kind of any way that you would do it when you are meeting new people or new friends in any other kind of space. Once you get on the chair, so it's not awkward, right away be like, hey, how's your day going? And they'll probably be like, oh, it's great, how's your day going? I know that some people sometimes are a little bit more introverted or not quite open to chatting too much on the lift, and that's completely fine, because you're probably going to take so many lifts that day. You're going to have so many opportunities to try and chat and make friends with various people on various chairlifts. So that's okay if they're not super open to chat in the beginning. Completely fine. But if they are open to saying hi and chatting a bit, and you can tell by their tone they're super welcoming and excited to chat with you, keep it going. Have a little bit of small talk about the weather, and talk about why you're there that day. I think kind of opening up about your skill set will help them kind of open up about their skill set. So, for example, I'll get on a chairlift to be like, hey, how's your day? And they're like, oh, well, it's great, blah, 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 right? And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like perfect bluebird day today, this, that, whatever. And they're probably going to comment on that, and I'll be like, it's the perfect day for me to practice my parallel turns. I'm super excited about it. I've been working on them, but just haven't quite got it down. Or I've been wanting to try those moguls, and it seems like today's the perfect day for it, and so on. Usually, once you open up about what you are trying to do, or what you want to do, or your goals for the day, oftentimes they will share theirs. And so they'll be like, I've been skiing for 10 years, and the best way to do this, they'll offer some advice. Or they'll be like, oh, I've been wanting to try those moguls too. Or, you know what, I'm a beginner and I'm trying to work on my parallel turns as well. Once they have opened up about their skill set, you have opened up about yours, you can kind of understand where you are in comparison to them. And so if you guys are at the same skill set or somewhere similar, that usually forms a rapport between you, and that is already one foot in the door. Now, the next thing you want to do is ask them, like, oh, are you like here for vacation, or are you a local? And oftentimes they'll be like, oh yeah, I'm a local. Or I'm skiing with my friends, or oh, I'm actually here alone, or whatever the case is, they'll volunteer that information. And so if you find that they're alone, or they're with their friends, or whatever the case is, you can share that you are there alone as well, which is perfect. And most likely they will invite you to join them, even if they are with friends or they're with a group already. What I find is that they're super open to have another person as long as you are super positive and just like a good presence. So if I could put that all into summary, everything that I just said, I would say hey, ask how their day's going, small talk, mention skill set, and who you're with. And you're all set, and you've already made a friend. Or if they invite you to their friend group or their other friend that they're with, you've made a group of friends, so it's kind of perfect. And who knows, you might spend the day skiing with them and their friends, and that's not the end of it. Every time they're on the mountain, they'll let you know that they're on the mountain and you can ski with them, or maybe you just become friends in regular life as well. So it's super awesome, and you don't lose anything by doing it. If the person that you get on the ski lift with is like super short in their responses, and they're not that open, or they don't want to be friends, you still haven't lost anything, because all you've done is say hey and how's your day, and that's positive, and we love spreading positivity on here. So yeah, I'm going to give you an example of this, and this is probably one of my core memories, and it was when I did my first black diamond. I was an intermediate skier, and I was ready for it. I definitely was ready for it, but I was so scared, and I've been wanting to do it for a while, and every time that I would go up to the mountain, I was like, you know what? Today's going to be the day. I'm going to do it. I can handle it. I'm ready. But for some reason, I would find a stupid excuse like, oh, my left pinky is hurting. Maybe I shouldn't do it today, or maybe today's not the day, it's a little windy, or whatever the case may be. And yeah, I just was finding really dumb reasons not to go for a more challenging course, because I was a little scared. I did need that encouragement. I remember I got on the lift, and I was going up to this run that had a black diamond and a bunch of blues. And in my head, I was like, you know what? I had already decided, some stupid excuse, I'm not going to do the black that day. I'll do the blues on the other side. But yeah, as I was on the lift, I got on with these two snowboarders, and I said, hey, and I was like, how's your day going? We started up a little chat, and they were like snowboarding ever since they were kids. They were super, super experienced snowboarders, and we were about the same age. They were super awesome, like just two really cool dudes. And yeah, I told them, I shared my skill set, and I was like, you guys, I've been like out here like trying my best and learning, and this is my first season, and I want to do my first black, but I'm so intimidated, but I know I can handle it. And I just over conversation, I didn't even want them to help me do it or anything. I was just sharing my skill set, and I had shared that I was here alone practicing this, and they were like, no. They just like stopped me right there, and they're like, today's going to be the day. Today's going to be the day that you're going to do it. And I was like, what? And they were like, no. Okay, so this is how it's going to work. One of us will go in front of you, and the other one will go behind you, and you'll ski in between us, so that if you fall, one of us will like break your fall, or basically stop you from falling. And so I was like, holy guacamole, like I just made two friends, and they're going to help me do my first black. They're going to give me the confidence. They're going to give me that push. They're going to encourage me to do it. And that's exactly what happened. Like, we got off the lift. One of the snowboarders, first of all, they gave me a pep talk, which was so freaking sweet. But yeah, they gave me a little pep talk. They're like, you can do it, blah, blah, blah. They've never seen my skill set before. So, I mean, I was a little skeptical, but they gave me a pep talk. They were like, you can do it. And so one snowboarder took off in front of me, and he was making like large S turns in front of me. And the others, and then I went right behind him, and he was kind of giving me a line to follow, so that I could take the best and easiest course down. And then the second one was right behind me, and so he was kind of following me just in case, like, if anything happened, if I fell or whatever. And there was a part I remember had like a bit of moguls on that black, and I got a little stressed out because I was not at the level of moguls. I mean, till this day, I'm really, really bad at moguls. And so I got a little bit scared, and so I started to slow down and maybe freak out a little bit. And the guy who was in front of me started kind of slipping edgewise, heel edgewise, so that he would go even slower and just go straight down in front of me, so that I felt even more comfortable with like his hands out and ready to catch me if I fell. And the guy behind me just like literally printing a receipt of like compliments, like, you got this, and like encouragements, like, you got this, oh, don't worry, oh, look at that turn is so great. So yeah, anyway, basically they did that all the way down, and I was so proud of myself. Like, holy guac, I just made it down a black diamond successfully with control, and I'm ready to do another one. And the two guys, like, till this day, I remember them, and I am so thankful for them. And I think my biggest regret is not getting their socials and like becoming regular, like normal friends with them. Because then after, I was like proud of myself, and I went and bought myself a big dinner at the lodge, or a big lunch at the lodge. But basically, yeah, I could have not done that. I would have never done that. I probably wouldn't have done my first black until like months later, when I finally built up the kind of encouragement on my own. If it wasn't for them, if it wasn't for me opening up on the chairlift and making these friends on the chairlift, and them encouraging me and honestly giving me that push and that like feeling of safety to take on a harder terrain. But yeah, so you guys, it works. Make friends on the chairlift, and it's honestly the best, and you lose nothing if it doesn't work out. But yeah, so that was just my experience. Let me know if this works for you. Leave a comment down below. The second way that I would recommend making friends on the mountain is on the slopes. And this one is specifically for beginners, because I find it's usually when you are most stagnant or stuck in one place. So an example of this is when I was first snowboarding, and you guys, I'm a skier. I love my skis. I don't think I would ever be a snowboarder, but I did learn how to snowboard before I learned how to ski. When I was first learning to snowboard, I was having a very, very, very difficult time, and I had taken this, on this specific day, I had taken maybe my 25th fall. My tailbone, couldn't feel it. My arms hurt, my legs hurt, everything hurt. And I had just taken a really bad tumble. I'm talking about like a yard sale kind of tumble. And I got all my belongings back, and I was so tired, I couldn't even move from that spot. Like, I just sat up with my snowboard strapped in, contemplating life and contemplating whether I can do this. But yeah, so obviously I was in the middle of the slope, and just a general friendly reminder to all beginners, or just all people in general, if you want to take a break, do not do it in the middle of the slope, especially if it's a green slope, because oftentimes beginners cannot control their speed or their direction, so they will tumble into you. If you want to take a break off to the side. I obviously was not thinking about that because I was exhausted, and I had taken some lashings from the freaking snow, and I was sad. So I just kind of sat there, and little do you know, some guy came just tumbling from the top, hit me really hard, sent me into another yard sale, basically like falling, and like my goggles like flipping off, my gloves flipping off. Like we were it was not nice. We were both on the floor, practically tangled, and it was not nice. It really, really hurt. And so, yeah, anyway, once we all got ourselves in order, he got up and apologized profusely and was like, I'm so sorry, didn't mean it, whatever. I was like, oh no, it's completely fine. I mean, that really hurt, but it's completely fine. And I definitely just really understood because I had done that to somebody earlier that day. And, you know, beginners don't mean it. They don't mean to, you know, crash into you. It's part of learning how to control. But yeah, anyway, didn't get mad. So then, you know, he just kind of sits off to the side as well because I imagine he was too tired to get up, and that was quite the wreck. And he goes, you know what? I just want to say thank you for not getting mad at me, because, like, I know that sometimes people get mad at people for, like, smacking into each other. And I go, you know what? It's okay. I've been having a really tough day, and I just kind of opened up about, you know, my progression and how tough it's been on the snowboard. And he was like, wait, you know what? Me too, blah, blah, blah. After a while, we chatted, we formed a rapport, and we formed this kind of allyship and agreed to take this on together and practice our J-turns and perfect our leaf falls and all of that. And so, yeah, we spent the rest of the day snowboarding together. Honestly, after that fall, I was ready to pretty much give up, go to the lodge and basically cry and go home. But I found a friend, and that encouraged me to, like, continue practice and get better. And I did end up getting that J-turn just right, and I was being able to control my snowboard a lot better. So yeah, I think making friends on the slopes definitely makes a difference, especially if you're a beginner, because sometimes you do need a little bit of moral support after a few falls. So in summary, if somebody falls right next to you and they look distraught, they're probably feeling the same way you are if you are a beginner. So chat with them, kind of bond in that, you know, sadness of how hard it is sometimes, and that will make you a new friend. And that specific friend that I made after a really, really, really tough day of snowboarding is still my friend until this day. So yeah. The third way that I would recommend making friends is après ski. And if you don't know what that is the social part of skiing, and it's usually at the lodge. There's good music and good food and a lot of people usually. It's really, really hard to find an empty table, so it's the perfect opportunity to join a table with other people. Don't think too much about it. Don't get anxiety about it. If you see a table that has maybe like 3 or less people on it, or somebody that is alone, and you feel comfortable, walk up to that table and be like, hey, do you mind if I share the table or whatever? And if you feel comfortable, like, say hey and how are you doing, just kind of the way you did on a chairlift. And if they're open to conversation, there you go, you've already made a friend. And if that table had, you know, a group of people, you've made several friends. I actually have a friend who met her partner at the base of the mountain at the lodge. She went for a hot chocolate break and found like an empty stool and just sat at that table and ended up making friends with the guy that was right next to her. And the rest was history. Now it's her partner. I'm not saying that will happen, but what I'm saying is it's a great opportunity to make friends in a relaxed, casual, social setting. There is not a single day that I go ski without an awesome buddy. So now I've shared my tips and tricks they're not really tricks, but my tips on how to make friends on the mountain. Go and make friends and have a freaking blast. Definitely give it a go. Let me know if it worked out for you. And yeah, go have a blast. I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Trying to get these subscribers up.